Yeah, okay, hello everyone, and today, this morning, I want to communicate to practice speaking and reading in English. And now, the 76, I want to bring the topic about understanding what the client needs. Sarah, hey, thanks for joining the meeting. Hi Sarah, thank you for having me. I'd like to talk about the website we're planning to build. Sure, I'd be happy to hear about it. We want a simple employee management system. Okay, we need to store employee information. What kind of information do you need? Name, position, department, and contact information. Okay, do you also need information about their work schedule? Yes, that would be useful. Anything else? We also want to record employee training. What information should we store about the training? The training name, organization, and that got it. I also want the system to be easy to use. What do you mean be easy to use? I don't want to myself to mm, I don't want to myself to have to go through many pages just to edit an employee. That makes sense. I want the process to be quick, so we should keep the employee form simple. Exactly. We can also make the form show only the information that is necessary. That sounds good. Will you like the system to show a list of all employee after they log in? Yes. And would you like to search for employees? Definitely. How would you like to search? Maybe my name or department? That's possible. There's one more thing, sure. Different employees will have different access. Can you explain that? For example, administration should be able to manage everything. Okay, but regular staff should only be able to view employee information. So we need different roles. Yes, and different permission for each role. Exactly. That's called role-based access control. I'm not familiar with that term. That's okay. What does it mean? It simply means that what a user can do depends on their role. Can you give me an example? Sure, please. An administrator can create and delete employee data. Okay, a regular staff member may only be able to view the data. I understand now. I also want the system to be secure. That's important. What would you recommend? First, every user should have an account. Okay, they should log in before access the system. Makes sense. And we should also make sure users can only access the feature they're allowed to use. Good. We should validate the data entered into forms. Why? Because we don't want invalid or unexpected data to enter the system. That makes sense. I don't really understand technical security. That's okay. Can you explain it without technical terms? Sure. Please do. Think out the system like an office building. Okay, not everyone should be able to enter every room, right? Administrators have access to more rooms, and regular employees they can only enter the rooms they need. That is easy to understand. That's basically how access control works. I like that explanation. Thank you. Can you explain the database the same way? Sure. How would you explain it? I think the database is a collection of organized cabinet. Okay, one cabinet store employee information, under cabinet stores departments exactly, and another one stores training records. Yes, how do they connect? Each employee can be connected to a department and their training records, so the system knows which department each employee belongs to. Exactly. That sounds complicated. The technical implementation can be complicated, but the user doesn't need to see the complexity. Exactly. That's what I want. The system should handle the complexity behind the scenes. Good. What happens if someone enters the wrong information? The system should tell them what's wrong. For example, if a required field is empty, the system can say that the field is required. Can it prevent incorrect data? To some extent, yes. What do you mean? We can define rules for the information users enter, so the system check the data before saying it. Exactly. That useful. What if I want to change the system later? That's possible. For example, what if we want to add a new field? We can update the database and application. Will that be difficult? It depends on the change. So you can always give an exact answer immediately. Correct. Why? Because I need to understand the requirement first. That's fair. But if I ask for a feature that sounds simple, I'd still like to understanding exactly what you need. Why? Because sometimes a simple request can have hidden requirements. Can you give me an example? Suppose you say I want an employee report. Okay, I need to ask what information should be included, right? Who can access the report? Good question. Should users be able to download it? Maybe what form should it use? Probably Excel, exactly. So one sentence can create many questions. Yes, I think I understand now. Good. Before building something, you need to understand the requirements easily, not just start coding immediately. Correct. Why is that important? Because if we misunderstand the requirements, might build the wrong thing, and then we'd have to change it later. Exactly. Which was time and potential money, right? So what happened after this meeting? I'll summarize the requirements, then I'll identify the main feature, then I'll design the database structure, and after that, I'll start implementing the application. How will we know whether it's correct? We'll test each feature together. Yes, we can review the result and make adjustment if necessary. That sounds good. I have one last question. Sure. What do you think makes a good developer? I think a good developer doesn't just write code. What else? A good developer listens. Okay, next question. Good, understand the problem. Yes, communicates clearly, exactly, and will a solution that actually solves the user's problem. I completely agree. So, are you ready to start? Yes, great. Let's build something useful. Let's do it. One requirement at a time. Yeah, one requirement at a time. One feature at a time. Yeah, one feature at a time. And one improvement at a time. Exactly. Okay, thank you for today and see you in the next time.